Well, my next guest heads up the group at the Oklahoma Department of Commerce that works with companies and site selectors on all types of job creation. Rob Gragg, thanks for joining me here in the studio. Well, first of all, let's talk about attracting businesses in the state. How do you do it?
Most of the companies that are looking for a home in Oklahoma contact the Oklahoma Department of Commerce. Then they basically give us their shopping list, which is what the amenities are that they're wanting. Some of them may want rail spurs, some of them may want water transportation. Whatever that shopping list is, they give it to us at the Department of Commerce. We in turn take that information and push that out into the state so that we're giving it to the communities that we know will be able to compete for that particular project. They will then go ahead and answer every element that the company is asking for, and then they'll include something almost like like an appendix section that is everything that is knowable about that community. How far is it from water? How far is it from a highway? Where's the closest airport? What are the utility rates there in the community? They'll give them every piece of information that they're looking for, and they'll push that back at them. Then we begin to be in a pool. It's a competitive pool. So now the company is now choosing between the communities.
Mm-hmm. Something I just keep on hearing talking to people that do site selection is the strength of Oklahoma's Quality Jobs Act. Tell us more about that and why it is so important.
The Oklahoma Quality Jobs Program sets us apart from a lot of our competitors around the area. It's something that is unique to Oklahoma, and it is basically a cash back incentive to the employer. And the employer has to meet a good bit of criteria in that. They have to pay a wage that's usually 110% of the county average wage. So it has to be a high-paying job in order to qualify for that particular program. But yeah, it's very, very popular.
There's a lot of talk going on at the Capitol right now about cutting and limiting certain tax credits and incentives. From someone that works in the business that you do of business development, what could that mean for the state?
It makes me nervous. One, because our competitors are the states that surround us for the most part. Although sometimes it could be a national search, but they all are armed with those same type of incentives. Our incentives are, if you look at them, they're either revenue neutral or they're revenue positive. I don't believe we offer any incentive that is revenue negative. So there's more money coming back to Oklahoma as a result of the incentive than what we're spending.
Mm-hmm. Creating jobs can be an expensive business. How does a rural area, how do they compete?
Rural areas have a little bit of a hard time, but they're getting very creative about the things that they do. Sometimes a company will start looking at the state incentives, but now they're going to want a local incentive as well. So there are things like a community could already have some land purchased that they would then make available to the company at either a very reduced cost or at no cost at all. Some of them own their own utilities. Sometimes they can give them a break on utilities, maybe give them free utilities for X number of years. But there's all kinds of things they can do. They can even do site preparation, using municipal people to level sites, do ingress, egress. There's a lot of things they can do just with their resources they have.
So we know it's an expensive business about creating jobs. We know that there's global competition when we try to create jobs. What is the role that growing your own businesses locally, what role does that play?
You know, it's huge in rural. I think it's probably a godsend for them in a lot of ways. Most of the problems that we're having right now, especially in rural, is attracting retail. They're under-retailed. They're just like anybody else. They have things that they want, and now they're being driven to either the regional node to buy those things or to a large metropolitan area to do it. So getting the retail in there is difficult if you're looking for a chain. But if you develop it locally with a local entrepreneur, they're a whole lot better. They are somebody who lives in the community, vested in the community. You know, I use the example around the state. Do you have to have Starbucks to come into your town? And the answer is usually no. What is Starbucks? Starbucks is coffee, usually Wi-Fi, play music. There's usually newspapers available. Do you need a Starbucks to have something like that? No. All you need is an entrepreneur that's willing to sell coffee, maybe buy pastries locally, have Wi-Fi, some music playing. And actually for the empty buildings in downtown, it makes an awful lot of sense. It's a gathering place for a lot of people.
So what can the local community do to increase their odds of bringing in new business?
I think they need to be prepared, and that's the first part of it. We do something in my team, in the regional development team, and we have a program called RFPs for Dummies. And it basically, it goes along with the old stuff they used to do. It's just a simple way of looking at it. And they will teach them how to do it. They'll teach them the ins and outs of how to put together a program that is a solid business attraction program that they can go out and compete for a lot of things. It has to be in their court. I mean, it has to be something they can do. I can't put a water-based project up in the Panhandle that's looking for a port. But if we can match them up, a lot of them have a lot of ability to compete.
All right, Rob. And I continue my conversation with the Department of Commerce's Rob Gragg on our website. Just head to okhorizon.com and click on this week's Value Added.